It disgusts me that if a celebrity/famous person dies from an OD they are forever remembered, but if someone normal did it they're a no-good addict. TLDR the title. Honestly. Yes, all loss of life is tragic to some degree, but if someone amazing dies in the same way as someone supposedly scummy, why is one remembered and the other shunned? In most cases, it is the choice of the person. They didn't mean to kill themselves, most likely, but they knew the risks they were running. And somehow even though they chose to run the risks, only one is remembered. I find this sickening, and I'm sorry, but it's an insane double standard. Because whether you like it or not, as a society we assign different values to people. Whether you agree with it or not, the answer is implicit in your title. A famous person will be remembered because he was able to make a connection and touch the lives of many people, it's why he's famous. Second, people will mourn the loss of potential, what could have been. People look at the contributions that person won't be able to make, the music, movies, scientific discoveries. Finally, being remembered is not the same as being valued, as value is a qualitative metric that an individual ascribes to another. To the family and friends of the drug addict, he may be valued and remembered, but to the public at large, he essentially contributed nothing and has no emotional or personal value. Well, millions of people know who say Janis Joplin was. But most people don't know Billy the Meth Head. Janis Joplin made a mark on huge groups of people with her music. Billy I'm sure made a mark on his family and his friends, to them I'm sure Billy will always be remembered. The difference is it's easy to label someone no good when you ain't never met them, it's harder when you've been singing along to their song. People feel a connection. My ex-girlfriend died of an overdose 1.5 years ago. I didn't think no good addict. It broke my heart. I remember saying this on a similar post about dead celebrities, but most people that mourn a celebrity are typically just sad that they won't be making any more content. On top of that, whenever something like this happens, it's very easy for people to use it as a launching point in order to preach about something. Think back to Robin Williams' death. It was a tragedy to see him go, and it turned every social media into a soapbox for everyone to talk about depression and other mental illnesses for a while. Once the shock factor was over, everyone went back to their normal things and didn't talk about these topics anymore. The fact is that people want to seem sympathetic and that they want to help the world, while doing as little as possible and still getting something out of it. The reality is that most people don't care about drug problems, mental issues, or any other issue unless someone very close to them is affected by it. Everything else that they support for a couple weeks after a tragedy is just for likes and to make themselves feel better. Apparently, at least he died doing what he loved wasn't the right thing to say, either. Society assigns value to people and it's largely subjective at that. There's no getting around it. In both instances they made choices that ultimately took their lives. The celebrity is being remembered for the positively perceived things they did. It's not just drug addicts. Look at Kobe's death. Other people died on that plane yet his death overshadowed the others. Even to some extent his own daughters in regard to public acknowledgement. One case of person has done something amazing with their life to the point where they are remembered and mourned by millions, and they also happen to be a drug hit that overdosed. The other case is some random junkie that's never done anything of note overdoses and no one cares because they are just a drug hit. Society is fucked. All life has value. And it should be equal, but it's not. #neon gravestones. People associate high social status with virtue and this is not always the case. It's just not coherent. Don't think that's right, I just think one's remembered and the other nobody gives a shit about. If it makes you feel better I don't feel bad for any of them. In my mind the celebrity OD is forever remembered. As a no-good addict. I mean I see where you're coming from but they're not being forever remembered for their OD but rather because of whatever made them popular in the first place. A drug addict on the street isn't impacting millions of people in positive ways and probably isn't nearly as talented as the recent celebrity deaths like Juice WRLD, Mac Miller, and Lil Peep. When Amy Winehouse went down, it was surprisingly honest. Everyone said tragic, nobody said unexpected. Yet it's so weird that nobody is writing profound eulogies about Kevin, the junkie who supported his addiction by working part-time at the AM/PM. All of his achievements like his 1.6 high school GPA and his rank in Call of Duty are completely forgotten. Then people fawn over someone like Amy Winehouse just because she was a phenomenal artist who produced incredible world-famous songs. It's truly a mystery. Well, what did they accomplish? Did they make great music? Did they make good movies? So what are they good at? I think the cause of death doesn't matter. No matter the cause, a celebrity/famous person will be forever remembered for their impactful achievements in society or solely for their recognition/fame. If it makes you feel any better, I don't think of the celebrity any differently. They're both crackheads. I don't know about all celebrities, but famous artists actually did STH to be remembered, right? Well, usually people are talking about being remembered for whatever made the person famous, not how he died, but I still get what you're saying. Well, we're not remembering or glorifying the junkie part, we're recognizing the value they brought into the world. Your average junkie doesn't contribute much. People who OD are just sad to me. I don't think they are no good. Hell, I've lost several friends and family to opioid overdoses. Fentanyl analogs and opioid RCS like U47700 just crush people's souls. Addicts just need help, not critical judgment. They can't beat the addiction on their own, and sometimes if it's too bad of an addiction, I don't think anything can save them. Anyone who has first-hand experience with addicts probably doesn't think of them as losers. Wrong, the celebrity is a no-good addict too. I think it's the stereotype that every single celebrity who takes drugs takes it because of paparazzi or obsessed fans.